Hi there, I'm Matt Keene. Welcome to Creating a Future We Want in our series about visionary evaluation, where I go page by page through this entire book. We are on page lowercase I. Visionary Evaluation for a Sustainable, Equitable Future. Wow, what a title. Someone should write a book about this. Such amazing, impressive, and all of that. We're not going to talk about all this because guess what? There's something about that in here. But visionary, I want us to just stick with this right here at the beginning. This seems like a word that might just be for a few people out there, for a privileged few people out there to be visionary, to have visions. We say, no. This entire book is about how all of us have the authority and the responsibility to ask the question how our values inform a vision of a future that we want to create, a vision of a world that is for the well-being of all, that is more sustainable and more equitable. We know now, crystal clear, the world we have built is headed in a direction where we will all not be happy about. Most of us, in fact, are going to have a problem with this because most of us were not involved in creating this world. Most of us were not involved in envisioning what the future should look like. That can change right now. In fact, it must. We each have the authority and the responsibility to craft visions of futures that we want. This book is about this, but it's not a recipe book. This is not a chapter 1 is step 1. Chapter 2 is step 2. You will not see that. We do not believe that was the appropriate way to convey our thoughts about visioning a future that we want. Instead, it reminds me of my writing teacher in college who said, "Show, don't tell." I thought that was kind of funny that she was telling me to show, don't tell, but somehow it stuck. Maybe everybody else who had said that before had tried to show me instead of tell me. She just told me, and here we are. So I think this book is much more about that, a collection of stories, of examples of how we might vision a future that we want, a future that is more sustainable and more equitable, a future of well-being for all. So when you read this, you will not find the set examples because we don't know. No one has ever done this before. The future is tomorrow, and there is no recipe book for creating that future. What we're hoping here is that there are many prompts for how we might think about crafting a future where our actions and the outcomes of those actions are aligned with our values and delivering on our visions of a future that we want. You'll hear about, these stories, stories set in the future about a time when things are more sustainable and equitable. You also hear about visionary evaluatives, something which all of us are enabled and, in fact, expected to be. The 6 principles by which visionary evaluatives live, and the stories in the book exemplify those principles. And you'll learn about praxis and deep praxis, and we'll talk about that as we go through the rest of this book. Thanks for visiting Creating a Future We Want. I'll speak more clearly next time. Be good.